Congratulations, you're heading to the polls for the first time. You might have a lot of questions, and if you're confused, you're not alone. Here are 3 steps you can take to feel more confident about your vote. Step 1, make a voting plan. This is going to take some Googling because a lot of this depends on what state you're in. Plus, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Make sure you're looking at the rules for 2020 and not the general rules. Some states have made modifications.
There are 2 ways you can vote, by mail or you can go to the polls. Voting by mail is a good option if you're worried about crowds. Now you'll decide how you'll send it back.
In some states, you can return a mail-in ballot at a drop box. Some places you can return it to a registrar's office or a polling location.
Those are good options if you're worried about USPS delays. The sad part about voting by mail is you don't get that iconic polling place experience. That might be really important to you. So if you end up voting in person, decide when you'll go. You might be able to vote early.
There is a safe and secure way for everybody to vote. It's just a matter of choosing the option that works best for you and your tolerance for risk.
No matter what, do everything early. I learned this the hard way in college. I ran to my polling place at the end of the day and I didn't make it in time. Step 2, focus on the biggest issues you care about. I know it's tempting to look up what candidates have said about every single topic, but try to pick just 2 or 3.
As humans, we are limited information processors. We can't really hold all that much information in our heads simultaneously. That also means that this idea of just learning as much as you can about everything and trying to weigh everything against everything doesn't necessarily lead to the best decision.
Sometimes it's hard to see how national issues actually affect your life. What do you worry about every day? Connect that to the bigger picture.
Try to make that connection from how it affects your local community, how it aligns with your values, to the larger national debate.
In your search, you'll see websites and writers you don't recognize. Find out what their deal is and be critical of everything. You'll also see some facts and some opinions. Both are fine to look at, but just remember they're different.
Facts are going to often be backed up with numbers and statistics, almost like when you're doing a research paper, right?
Once you're done with your research, talk it out with a friend. They can point out things you're missing or flaws in your thinking. And remember, always be a skeptic. Step 3, go out and vote, even if you don't love all the candidates, because not voting can actually cost you.
By choosing to abstain, you're not really abstaining, you're just giving somebody else your little piece of the power. So you're letting other people decide for you.
There's a whole history of people being prevented from voting, and that may make you feel discouraged. But on the flip side, it shows how important it is to use your vote.
Your vote definitely doesn't count if you don't vote. If we want to make claims about voter suppression, those are actually really hard to measure, but we definitely can't measure the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
You might have really strong feelings about a certain issue, and that's totally fine. Sometimes I like to ask myself, how am I feeling right now? And how might that be affecting my point of view? Another good trick, try defending the other side and see what you learn.
I would often assign students to just tell me what you think about a particular issue, those that were for it and those that were against it. Then I would make them flip. It makes you really think critically about the who, what, where, and why of a particular issue and be objective.
Sometimes when we're deciding who to vote for, we say, this person is bad and this person is good. And voting for them means we 100% agree with everything they've ever said. That's not really a helpful way of thinking, and it's also probably not possible, right?
A lot of people, I think, feel that if they vote for a candidate that they don't agree with 100%, their integrity is compromised, and that's really not true. You want to think about this as your ability to exercise your power to at least give an indication of the direction that you want this country to head in.
We're in the middle of a moment in which our country is facing a reckoning, and we're not going to get ourselves out of this position unless we hear from all of us.
I hope you feel less confused. I myself learned so much while making this video. I decided to do a mail-in ballot and I walked it to a Dropbox. Let me know how you voted. Tag us at The Lily News. Check out more videos from The Lily. Find us at thelily.com.